Hey, happy Friday, everybody. You made it. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. It's been kind of a crazy morning, but let's get to it. Just let me make sure this is recording correctly. Hold on. All right. Looks good to me. All right. So we're going to go over some Financial Friday. We are going to discuss a little astrology. And I'm also going to do a little witchy box haul for you guys. This is actually last month's, but I'm going to do that towards the end. We're going to talk finances for a minute. Let me bring my notes up because I want to talk about Bitcoin for a minute, and I got to scroll all the way down to my notes here. So if you're wondering what is going on with Bitcoin, it's dropping. Well, here's why. There's a crypto winter in Texas. Okay. And I'm getting my information from Coin Market Cap. So just so you know, the Texas cold wave forced uh, Bitcoin miners to shut off rigs in masses, crashing the total network hash rate by about 34% for the past few days. So that would be why the Bitcoin is dropping. With Texas hosting almost a third of the US Bitcoin hash rate, site outages proved devastating for major players. So um, I didn't know that Texas had a 34% hash rate. That's news to me. I learned something new yesterday as well. So if you're wondering why it's going down, that would be why. It will go back up. And you know my saying, don't trip by the dip. Let me just go into my Uphold account and take a look at something. Yeah, now Bitcoin is up a little bit today than it was yesterday. Um, it's at 41,356, and it's fluctuating. Last night, in the middle of the night, it was down to like 40,000, something like that. And I ended up going in and buying another $50 worth. So I apologize. I have really bad allergies today, so I'm going to try and get through this without sneezing. But yes, there's been a sudden freeze in Texas that has caused a significant drop in the Bitcoin hash rate. As miners in the state were forced to curtail operations to support the state's energy grid, which we all know Texas's energy grid is not very good. According to data from Y-Charts, the total Bitcoin network fell, like I said, 34%, and over 629 exahashes were second. This was on January 11th. So just so you know, and even for myself, I sent out packages over 7 days ago, and I have, no control over what gets sent, but I've had clients and customers ask me where their package is, and I've given them the tracking number. And because of this ice storm happening in the south, it's happening in Tennessee as well, and parts of Georgia. Everything is slower. So packages that were supposed to arrive, like I have a package that was supposed to arrive to someone in Florida on the 13th. It isn't there yet. And we are on the 19th. So those of you who are waiting for packages from me, it is out of my control. I have no control over the postal service. Hey, Antonia, how are you? Happy Friday. Good to see you, love. All right, moving on. So that's what's going on with the Bitcoin's fiasco. And usually it's like a cause and effect. When one tumbles, the rest tumble. And you'll notice that the markets are, the other day, everything was in the red. At least today, things are not as in the red. There's still, Bitcoin is doing better, but everything else is still in the red. XRP, In fact, XRP, if I'm reading that right, oh, wow. 53 cents. So XRP has dropped. And you know my stance. I'll repeat it one more time. Don't trip by the dip. Um, I got into Bitcoin a little late in the game, but when it dropped to like 15, 16,000, I started buying, and I bought all the way up to, I knew my hat was on crooked. I went and bought all the way up to about 30 grand. But even at 40 grand, it's still a bargain. I can't put my hat on straight. Sorry, kids. There. The emblem has to be straight. Oh, I'm having a hell of a day with my hat. It's very cold out, so I'm wearing a hat because I'm just cold. There. That's as straight as it's going to get. All right. Moving on. Let me go to my notes here because I wanted to talk about Bitcoin first, but let me scroll back up and just kind of go over some of the notes this week in crypto from CoinMarketCap. And like I said, it's been rocky for stable coins as well. I don't know if anyone's heard about True USD, which shocked the market suddenly. And this happened on the 16th by losing $1 peg, plunging as low as 98 cents a share amidst a flood of sell orders. Let me go and click on this. Okay, and so Venezuela pulls the plug on its controversial Petro token experiment. So the plug has been pulled on that. I'm going to go back to True USD in a second. I'm waiting for the article to load. BlackRock CEO trumpets anticipation for an Ethereum ETF listing. And Celsius family moves 125 mil of its frozen ether fund. Now, they are saying that the upcoming Bitcoin halving is going to pose like a profitability threat for some of the smaller miners. So if you are a smaller miner, that might, be a possibility that it poses a threat like that. Let me go. Nothing's working for me right now, so hold on. I want to read this to you because it's important. This was from Tuesday, January 16th. Okay, and I want to read just a little bit. The True USD thing. Most price punishments came on Binance order books amidst the deluge of the TUSD sell orders. Why did the DPEG, why was this all of a sudden? And you can read the full story on CoinMarketCap or coinmarketcap.com. It's kind of sparking a backlash across social media. I mean, it really did drop bad. And it's a sparked heated reactions, but the price divergence first appeared just after midnight on January 15th, dipped below $1 amidst frenzied selling on Binance. TUSD ultimately dropped as far as 98 cents at one point, representing a significant deviation from its intended stability. I don't know if anyone owns that coin. I do not. So I don't want to say I'm not too worried. Like I said, I buy the coins that are a little more reputable. That's just me. The other thing I want to bring up here is that the UN red flags, the United Nations is red flagging United States digital USDT. This is Tether. If you own Tether, they just got red flagged by the United Nations among Southeast Asian scammers and money launderers, according to a new UN report. I have heard, even though, like you hear politicians say it's for money laundering, that's not true. Everything is on the blockchain. But I have heard rumors not the rumors at this point, that this particular stable coin, USDT, does kind of dabble in the darker side of things. So take that for what it's worth. Specifically, the report called out stablecoins' role in facilitating, like I said, illegal online gaming and romance fraud operations, then citing an example where USDT assisted American authorities in tracking 200 or 225 million tied to the human trafficking ring involved in pig butchering scams. So there is always a darker side to crypto in some ways. Um, that is just one report. Let's go into today's, because today's coin market cap came out at 4:25 a.m. And what's interesting is it has this thing called the fear and greed index, which I kind of laugh at. It's like, right today it's at 56% and it's neutral. So there's a lot of people not buying. I don't understand that mentality when it drops by. Anyway, cryptocurrencies have certainly grabbed the financial world's attention over the past year, especially with the approval. Last week, I didn't go on, but last week there was an approval of the first spot Bitcoin ETF. Hold on, you guys. I'm getting a message. I just got to respond to it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so the first spot Bitcoin ETF was approved as digital assets continue their metric rate into the mainstream. They seem to be a hot topic in every office, home, and news today. So there's that, and now this will pave the road for my understanding is they're going to do a Ethereum ETF, and if you don't know what an ETF is, exchange traded fund, ETF. That's all it stands for, is an exchange traded fund, and it's a type of investment security that's it's kind of similar to a mutual fund in some ways. There ETFs, I'll go in and Google it, and I'll read it from Google. ETFs, an exchange traded fund, is a type of pooled investment security that holds multiple underlying assets rather than only one. So there's that. You could go do your research on it, but now that this is approved, it's going to set the tone for others. You'll see Ethereum EFT, probably an XRP EFT as time goes on. So there is that. Let me close out of this. Close out of that. And in the first week of this ETF launching, BlackRock's spot BTC ETF tops 1 billion AUM in the first week. Now, Trump pledges to block the United States CBDC if reelected. Probably the only thing I will agree with him on. It's a good thing. I think Donald Trump does invest in crypto. It just doesn't say anything about it. And as we get closer to the election, like I said, I'm kind of waiting because I don't think either one is getting in. And that's a Nostradamus prediction. That's not coming from me. But if there's anyone in the world that I have their chart like implanted in my head, it is Donald Trump's. And the only reason is because when I graduated, he was the person I had to do a chart on. And so this was way before he was president. So I know Donald Trump stars, and with being a Gemini and a dragon's head in Gemini, there is that possibility. that he could be elected and wearing an orange jumpsuit from jail. I mean, this uh, anything could happen. Nothing surprises me in American politics anymore. Let's see, what else do I have in the news? Let me go back up to my notes. This was yesterday. Ethereum continues marching towards lower cost and greater access with the successful deployment of the Denkun testnet upgrade this week. This initial integration kicks off a series of forks across multiple testnets, smoothing the upgrade path towards Deacon's mainnet migrations. Okay, see it. They're all getting very close now to these ETFs. They're marching towards all kinds of things and getting things set in place. It's happening. While we're all focused on Ukraine and Israel, and that the monetary system is really doing it. It's really putting in the time. Let me just put it that way. Um, Bankrupt mining firm Core Scientific is making a comeback and returning as a public company on the NASDAQ. Blast launched a developer-focused testnet called Big Bang with airdrop rewards up for grabs. The Switzerland Liechtenstein crypto corridor saw a 107% value explosion to $383 billion. Texas cold snap, you know about that one. Let's see. Texas, you know about the Texas cold snap. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. One thing I will say about what's happening in Texas is a lot of the miners participate in a state program paying them to adjust operations when like electricity reserves run low. So blackouts are avoided. In my opinion, though, that is a terrible strain on our grids. If you're going to be a miner, you should go solar. That's all I'm going to say. Go solar. And that really is it for Financial Fridays. Like I said, it's dropping. It will go up. I noticed something in crypto, and I kind of find it amusing. It's a very mercurial energy. Okay, so it doesn't really correlate as much with the moon as it does with Mercury. And I always notice crypto goes up during a waning phase and comes down during a waxing moon phase. So that's just an observation that I have. My own observation. It's not set in stone, but that is your Financial Fridays. It is short and sweet today. Like I said, not too much going on. The only other thing I want to add is something I should have said. Canada proposes tighter regulations on public crypto funds. So there's that. A lot of countries are cracking down. All right. So let's talk a little astrology because there's a big event happening tomorrow, and I mean a big event. Big, big, big event. Oh, it's getting warm now. And that is, well, tomorrow is Aquarius season, so happy birthday to Aquarius. But there's this big event happening tomorrow, and it's really a once-in-a-lifetime event. So the sun obviously enters Aquarius tomorrow. Happy birthday to Aquarius. It will be Aquarian season officially. Today, what's going on today? Well, we have Mercury trining Jupiter, and this is Mercury's in Capricorn, Jupiter's in Taurus. So you'll hear a lot of news today with foreign affairs, writing, and higher learning are favored. A lot of people will dive deep into books and whatnot. A little later in the day, though, we have Venus squaring Neptune, and that's not really a good placement. It's about karmic ties and emotional issues streaming from the deep subconscious mind. So Try and keep your thoughts clear and positive. But tomorrow, January 20th, Pluto enters Aquarius. Let the revolution begin as radical change begin for the next 20 years. Now, it does jump back into Capricorn. I think that's September 18th. Yes, I think it's September 18th. And it stays till like November 18th. It's an 11-week jump back in. But as of tomorrow, we are in the Pluto in Aquarius age, and this is the age of radical change, revolutions. What I'm going to be doing, my website is, you can still go to it. It's still running. I'm just not going to be posting anything on it anymore. Free newsletters will now be on my Patreon. I'll put the free newsletters on the Patreon for all of you. So I'm probably going to make my Pluto and Aquarius newsletter that I gave Patreon for the public. Patreon got this back when Pluto first joined Aquarius back in March of 2023. It was there for 4 months from March to June 11th. It slipped into Aquarius, and think back of what was going on those 4 months. They are a precursor to what we're going to see now. Now, the irony of this is, and I find it kind of amusing, I'm not saying this is going to happen. Like I said, I've got to really go look at election day. I've got to go look at the two running mates, Biden and Trump stars. But like I said, I know Trump stars in my head. So his chart is like burned into my mind. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. God. But I've got to go and look before I really say anything. But I am going to say this. Pluto jumps back into Capricorn during election time. So when we have our elections here in the United States, when is that? Like November 5th of this year? The moon will be in Capricorn, but slipping into Aquarius. It is right under a Uranic phase. So there is going to be something shocking that comes out of this election. That's what I'm going to say here. Pluto slips back into Capricorn during election time. So there, with that happening, that there is that possibility of you getting a conservative president elected of some sort. It may not be Trump, but remember, Trump has a dragon's head in Gemini, so it sits right on his first house. He is a Gemini. His tail is in the 7th in Sagittarius. People who have a dragon's head in Gemini, and I have a dragon's head in Gemini, a hidden one, things always happen to them. 2s, 4s, 6s, 8s. So, he owns multitudes of property. He has had multitudes of marriages. I think he's on his 3rd. There's a possibility he could go on a 4th, but I don't know. He has had several children. They always kind of have things going in duplicates, and things happen to them double. So in his stars, he does have the potential to get reelected because things will happen to a Gemini with a Gemini's dragon head. It's North Node twice, 4 times, 6 times, 8 times. So there is a possibility. Do I see Joe Biden getting in? I haven't looked at his stars, but Joe Biden should have probably been in an old folks home about 3 years ago. And I see a lot of people saying that on TikTok. It's kind of funny. But no, I'm not saying Trump is good either. Something going on with him too. They're both old. They're just too old. I'm not trying to do ageism here, but shit, they're too old. Hey, sweet butterfly girl. Yes, Antonio. Definitely. How are you, sweet butterfly girl? Long time no talk. So yes, keep an eye out for the Pluto and Aquarius newsletter. I will make that public. Like I said, my Patreon's got that back in March of 2023, and it does have a forecast to go with it. So I will go back into Patreon. They're completely out of touch with Congress, especially. I mean, it's like, geez, really? I think you people need to stop getting paid because you're, what did I say a couple of weeks ago? So my dad was in the military, and this is like a military expression, old timer, Korea, Vietnam expression. Um, and expression is that person or that individual. In this case, I said Congress is as useless as two tits on a bull. And I stand by that comment. And it still rings true. Congress and our government in general is completely out of touch with reality and what the American people are going through. They have no freaking clue because they make millions. That's right. They'll do everything except make decisions that make sense. That's it exactly. And once again, here we go. I'm going back to ageism. I'm trying to find the right words where I don't come off as a complete asshole here. Um, they just, they're the generation of Pluto in Leo. They're the Pluto in Leo generation. So these are the boomers. They've benefited through the years. Life was good for them when they were in their 20s and 30s, and you could find good jobs and you could pay, you know, gas was like 80 cents a gallon. You could buy a house for under 40 grand. You could have one person in the household working while the other one stayed home. It wasn't until the Reagan years that we had the latchkey kids where two parents worked, that bullshit of trickle down economics. The only thing that trickled down for the middle class was more inflation. Here's the same. They even tell us that our economy is one of the best in Europe. Really? Wow. I believe it. So yeah, there is that. But tomorrow is a new day dawning. Okay. And I want to read you something if I could find it, but I don't know where I put it. Oh, please let it be here. Please, please, please. Oh, yes, it is. Okay. So I buy this every year for myself. It's just like a little daily planetary guide. It's great if you're really into astrology. Um, it kind of keeps me, I love this because, sorry, my phone is going kooky. I like this because it has, for example, hold on. It's got like the 2024 retrogrades, and I highlight them in different colors because I'm just OCD like that. Where I highlight them, like if you see double orange, it means that's a Mercury retrogrades. But I highlight them so that I know nobody is really running anything, which is why stuff is crashed. That's exactly it. No, that's exactly it. They're more concerned about shutting down the government, than they are working on solutions. And I want this book. Where can I find it? You can find this at llewellyns.com. Hold on. I'll get you the website and put it in the thing. Let me find it. It's a Welsh name, Llewellyns. Llewellyns Worldwide. Antonia, when I the shit, where is it? The moon book, the moon book I sent you. I have the option to order these wholesale. But for now, go to this website. He is having a winter sale and it's 50% off. So, crap. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Copy. All right. I'm putting it in the thing now. Hold on. So next year, if this is something you're interested in for next year, because I get the opportunity to buy these wholesale to sell, but I never buy them because nobody ever wants them. They always want the moon one, but I don't know where my moon book is. Oh, here it is. These two go hand in hand. They're a perfect complement. Perfect complement. So go to Llewellyn's. My wholesale provider sold out for 2024, so I can't get any of them anymore. But next year, not next year, but usually I start ordering about September. Come September of 2024, I'll buy 5 and 5 wholesale, and then I'll sell them in a bundle for next year. That's next year. Who knows where we'll all be next year. But what I want to read to you is something that in this book, they have an overview of 2024. Now, I don't agree with everything that this person writes, but I also like this. If you notice, they have the 2024 eclipse dates, and I put the signs next to them. So just you might want to make a mental note of that. April 8th is going to be a doozy. So is March 25th. You're welcome, Antonia. But what I want to read to you is this, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read a little bit, okay? Bear with me. I'm going to read this part to you because I'm not the only astrologer saying this. Now, I said a few minutes ago with Pluto slipping back into Capricorn, September to November, there is that possibility that conservative energy comes back in and elects a conservative president. There is that possibility. Like I said, according to Nostradamus, his predictions, a whole new family walks in. So who knows? Before I read this, every morning I turn the TV on. I don't watch ABC. I don't watch NBC. I don't watch any of the corporate media organizations. I certainly don't go and watch The War Room with Steve Bannon, but there are some channels I watch. Reuters is one of them. And I get my news of all the things happening in the world that I don't get on the corporate media. And after I get off this YouTube, I'm going to post a video of CNN admitting that anything they post about Gaza, they have good approval from Israel. So my understanding is when you file your taxes this year, make sure you put Israel as your dependent, because that's what they are. The United States is dependent. So pretty much they're controlling our media, like CNN. And I'm going to post something that shows you the proof of that. Follow the money. That's all I got to say. Anyway, Pluto moving into Aquarius tomorrow. Every astrologer is saying this, but I want to read it to you because the way they put it is a little political than how I would have written it, but that's me. I wouldn't necessarily call Pluto moving into democratically minded Aquarius. I mean, yes, it's more progressive, but as we go on here, we're learning that both parties are one and the same. We know this. Well, most of us do. The previous era, let's just talk about this for a minute. The previous era we just experienced was Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is the planet of complete, often radical transformation. Capricorn is the sign of institutional power, often radical transformations, while Capricorn entered Pluto in 2008 at the very beginning of the financial crisis. So about November 26th, I think, 2008, Pluto entered Capricorn and financial crisis hit. Shit hit the fan. Okay. And it was an end and is ending its transit in this sign with the COVID pandemic. Over the last 15 years, because that's how long it's been in Capricorn, for 15 years, you think of all the things that have happened in the last 15 years. Here's a perfect example. During the election with Obama and Mitt Romney, I think that was back in what, 2007, 2008. Businesses or corporations were people. That is a total Pluto and Aquarius statement. But corporations are people too. Total Pluto and Aquarius, or Pluto and Capricorn statement. So then we had the ending of the COVID pandemic. Over the last 15 years, the main organizations in our lives, big government, big media, big pharma, big tech, and big business, all underwent radical, profound changes. Local national powers seemed to be losing ground as we moved into a one world model of governance, with global institutions often setting policy for the entire planet. The iPhone was invented in 2020 or in 2007. Before I go on, the iPhone was invented in 2007. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, was invented in 2008, 2009 by Satoshi Nakamoto. I know who I think I know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Goodbye, lady. I think I know who he is, and I think it was Steve Jobs. We'll talk about that next week, but there you go. 2007, the iPhone was invented, which completely revolutionized the online communication world. It's hard to remember a time when we weren't addicted to our screens and social media, but it wasn't that long ago. Now, here's the part where I kind of disagree with her, or whoever wrote this. With Pluto moving into democratically minded Aquarius, I would have changed that to progressively minded, but a lot of the overreach of power that was accumulated during the Pluto and Capricorn era could start to see pushback from ordinary people, and we can expect this trend to accelerate over the upcoming years. So this is where the old paradigms are dying. The old paradigm is dying, and the new paradigm is here. This is about a complete shift, a shift in our economy, a shift in our consciousness. It's a shift in geo and political aspects. So, you know how you have these Christians that talk about the rapture? The rapture, in my opinion, because there's no such thing as a rapture, is really just this paradigm shift. That's the rapture. It's a complete shift, an economic shift, a monetary shift, a geopolitical shift, a complete shift. And what you see happening in Israel, I don't think Israel realized how many people would come out against them. Okay, and they may hold the money, but there's more people against than for. And like I said, I say this every week on my show. Never again means never again for all, not just one certain group of people or race. Gabish? All right, moving on. We can expect this trend to accelerate over the upcoming years. Pluto in Aquarius is Davy fighting Goliath. I love this part of it. This is my favorite part of this is the main reason I wanted to read this to you, because it gives each and every one of us a little bit of hope here. Okay, so listen to this. Where was I? This is like Davy fighting Goliath and Davy winning. So this is the little guy winning because there's strength in numbers. Capiche? The last Pluto in Aquarius era, think back to when the last Pluto in Aquarius era was. Well, it was from 1777 until 1798. While the U.S. was founded in 1776, most of the Revolutionary War happened between 1775 and 1783. It took place during Pluto in Aquarius. The entire era was known as the Age of Revolution, as citizens around the globe were inspired by what was going on in the U.S. and staged their own democratic rebellions against the ossified. Hold on, just a little bit more. I highlighted it. Ossified and unfair regimes. Most famously, the French Revolution overthrew the country's monarchy. Pluto in Aquarius era prior to this one was from 1532 to 1553. The height of the Reformation in Europe, a time when the newly formed Protestant movement stood up against the hierarchical Roman Catholic Church. So this is when the Church of England was formed, and King Henry VIII broke away from the Catholic Church, which was a big no-no back then, but it was done. And leave it to a Capricorn nation to do it, okay? What else can I say here? Blah, 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 blah. This era was ushered in by Henry VIII's secret marriage to Anne Boleyn and saw the Church of England break away from Rome. I just said that. Pluto in Aquarius represents progress against tyranny, but it can also usher in its own cult-like, zealous authoritarianism. Think of the reign of terror that followed the French Revolution. However, many countries transitioned more peacefully. So this is not a given, but more of a cautionary tale to beware of. Like I said, every energy has its good and bad. Pluto in Aquarius does bring around new, watch for those new cult gurus, like I have idiots all the time message me on TikTok in a private message saying, I was feeling your energy and I thought I'd give you a message. Would you like a reading? It's like, okay, piss off, lady. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of energy that can prevail. Aquarius also rules technology, so we can be prepared for all kinds of digital stuff. It's starting tomorrow, get ready for 20 years of explosion in technology. Flying cars, you bet. We're going to see it. Things that hover, absolutely. Trips into space, absolutely. Technologies that advance science, medicine, oh my God, absolutely. I think as time goes on, and it might be for the very rich at first, but I think we'll be able to grow teeth back and even limbs and grow bones back and things like that. We're going to see such advancements in technology that you would only think this is something out of the Jetsons or something out of a sci-fi movie. That's where we're going here. That has its negatives too, because this is also Pluto in Aquarius. It is the technology age where everyone's going to want to control you and what you do. It's already happening in currency. They want you on CBDC. They want to control your money, things like that. It's going to get ramped up here as time goes on. But very interesting article. And there's a little bit more to it. I don't go too much more into it. But yes, Antonia, you will love this book. And when you do get it, let me know. And I'll show you all the things I highlighted in here that will help you to get a better idea of the stars. Now, I've had like 8 people ask me when I'm going to start teaching. And I know, I keep saying I'm going to, but I'm actually going to have a friend help me who's in education because she can help me make curriculum. Like I said, I used to be a special needs caretaker. I didn't really handle a whole lot of curriculum. And so I don't know how to make curriculum. I'm not an educator per se like that. So just give it time. I will get around to it. Like I said, I'm not with the same website company. I'm not with a website anymore. I'm strictly Patreon and YouTube and TikTok. If there's products you want, you can still buy them from me. You just have to message me. I will eventually get a new website. I actually purchased a Web3 website, which is going to help in the future. And that was only $6, but I have to build it. But I have to get another website as well. Oh, of course. Yes. Like I said, I've got to get her to make some curriculum because I'm not going to lie. I'm out of my comfort zone. I know I tell my clients, you have to be out of your comfort zone. I'm a little nervous. I don't teach, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to give it a try though. Okay, let's end it on a fun note this Friday. So, I haven't done any witchy hauls lately. And that is because I just haven't had the time. So, Antonio, when I start teaching, I'll let you know. But do know you are in my Patreon. Aw, thank you. You are in my Patreon. So my Patreons, you guys are always my test pilots. I test all of my stuff out on Patreon. So just one of those things. But this was from December. Okay. I'm a little behind on all of this. And I apologize. I just haven't had time. I dealing with another cat. I had a cat that got feline FIV. And so he can't coexist in the household with me. And I ended up like spending a lot of money on him. But I live near a winery. And the lady on the winery, she says to me, it's not just a winery. She says, I have a cat sanctuary where I have all these little houses, heated houses that host cats with feline FIV. Then there's the leukemia house. So these are cats with just leukemia. I mean, and then she has a little warming area for just the feral cats. I mean, it's beautiful. So he ripped his ear open. $1,000 later, I ended up getting him neutered too. He's recovering over at the winery, and I get to go there once a week, help out, donate my time, and I get to see Mr. O'Malley. It's a win-win, even though I miss him dearly. There's nothing I can do right now. She did say that once I get settled, if I relocate and get property of my own, and I'm able to take him back, by all means. So there's always hope, okay? There is always hope. I'm looking for something here. Here it is. So that's the cat story. It's very sad. I miss him dearly, but he is in a better place. Okay. So this, like I said, this was the December's one. This is the Empire of Oracles. And it's really all about trees. It's tree magic. It's a little bent. Boy, I really bent these. Ash tree, the rowan tree. It talks about the magical properties of these trees. It's very nice. I didn't realize I bent it that much. It's been a while since I've done these. And it's the usual. Her stuff is like some of the same old, not same old, I shouldn't say that. But the salt, the this, the that. Anyway. What is everybody's plans for the weekend? Anybody got plans? Doing anything fun? And this is some Merry Meat oil. Not sure what that's for. A little oracle card, a Pilgrim's Peace. And that just is a little, I guess, it's going to be very cold. We're getting snow here on Sunday, I think. Yes, Sunday. It's actually been really warm until today. Last few days, it's been in the low 60s, which is not normal for January in up northern Arizona. I'm celebrating the end of yes, me too. Maybe I should go and make martinis tonight. Woohoo! Hey, look, I'm a Capricorn. I'm sick of this shit being on my first house. I've had this damn planet sitting on me since 2008. And if I sit there and make a list of all the shitty things that have happened to me in the last 15 years, I am so ready for this planet to go. Aquarius, you can deal with it next. Okay? We pass the torch to you, Aquarius. But I agree, sweet butterfly girl. I'm ready to celebrate too. Okay, let's see here. Then you get some salts. This is Whisper Winter. Just going to kind of do this. My poor mother is a Capricorn, and she had it hard the last 5 to 6 years. God, I bet I will admit, one of the worst things that happened to me with Pluto and Capricorn, and I mean, all things happen for a reason, but foreclosing on a home is like one of the worst experiences of a person's life. If you've never been through it, thank God. Okay. If you've never had to go through it, then I'm happy for you. But if you've had to go through it, it is not a shining moment in your life. And back when the housing crisis was going on, for my condo that I foreclosed on, I had 3 banks fighting over who owned the property. I had Wells Fargo, I had Bank of America. Oh God, and there was a third bank. Wasn't Chase, it was another one. Oh, Rabobank. They're from Holland. 3 banks fighting over who owned my deed. I mean, the fuckery, pardon my French, that went on between 2008 and 2012 with the housing market was absolute bullshit. And that is why cryptocurrency was invented. It was birthed from that crisis for a reason. Okay, so next up we have some pine cones. Pine cones are great for transformation magic. They are an excellent tool for wanting to transform something. And these are perfect because they're little tiny ones. All the ones I have are very, very big and massive. And I'm running out, so I'm going to have to make a little trip up to Flagstaff. I don't have any pine trees around my area, but 30, 40 minutes up the road, you start getting the pine trees. And I collect the pine trees, the pine cones. One of the neat things you can do during the winter time, especially if you live rural, is the bigger pine cones, you can take and put string on them and put like peanut butter and put it out in the woods. And the deer will come and lick the peanut butter. It kind of helps the environment. Not that you should feed the wildlife, but it is something you can do. Food is a lot more scarce in the winter, so it's just something I see a lot of people who live rural do, is that. And then the stone of the month, let's see, what was it? The Gingham Book of Shadows, the Rowan Tree, the original. Hold on, kids. African jade. Isn't that just beautiful? African jade. And it's a really deep, deep green. You really can't see it. This camera doesn't do it justice, but if you put it under the light, oh my God, it's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. Right now in Arizona, down in the south part, near Tucson and Quartzsite, from January 1st through February 28th, they are having their gem sale. Too bad I don't have any money. I was going to go to that and buy a whole bunch of wholesale, but I can't because I just spent $1,000 on a cat's ear. This is where all my money goes. You know, it's not to Botox and nails and things like that. It's cats, all the time. But if you're ever in the area, know that January and February are the months to come to Arizona if you're in the hunt for gems and jewelry. And then you get all kinds of herbs, like we've got wild berry bark. Wild berry bark. We've got, this is some sort of Belith. She always names her herbs different. Like, I ended up cleaning out my herb kit, realizing that I had like 5 duplicates of the same thing. This is called lime. I've never worked with lime, so this should be interesting. And all of these are like, let's see, the wild cherry bark is from the black cherry tree. It provides enhanced creativity, healing, and grounding. The birch bark, which is the biath, which is birch bark, that is great for new beginnings, initiations, and changes to come. So great for transformation. We want change. And really, Pluto moving is one of the biggest transformations cosmically that can happen. So light a candle tomorrow and just welcome in the new energy shift. That's all I have to say. You're going to feel it. You are going to feel it, especially if you're Capricorn or Aquarius. Now think about this too, kids. This is the very last day any of us in our lifetime, unless some of you live to be 250 years. I locked the cat in the bathroom. She's pissed at me. Think about this. This is the last day we will ever experience Pluto and Capricorn in our lifetime. Adios. C'est la vie. Ciao. Don't let the door hit you, or the good Lord split you. All right, last but not least, well, 2 more things here. You get a beautiful candle. And then there's this, which I'm not familiar with. Give it a good shake. Shake it on up. Inside, it has little symbols. Represents like what's on here. And their meaning and their meaning. So like this one represents, let's see. Each one represents a tree. So this one represents, oh my God, it's like the memory game. What the hell? Maybe it's upside down. I can't find it. Jesus. Oh, how funny. It's not on here. Let's try another one. Shall we? Oh, I get it. Okay. Okay. My bad. I get it. So this would represent the fern tree. Fern. And it has like the fern tree is about, and it's involving its perseverance, things like that. It's just a little thing you shake up and you pull from. Next week, I'm going to show you the January one because it's absolutely gorgeous, and dabbling with Greek pantheons, which is my favorite. You know me, I'm a Greek pantheon kind of gal. I love my Hecate. I love my mother Gaia. You know, I love Poseidon. I love all the Greek pantheons. So next week, I'll show you that one. This was, like I said, from December's, and I did cancel. So January's is going to be the last one for a while. I need to save some money and not spend it on witch boxes. You know what I mean? I just need to save a little money. I kind of foresee the economy getting a little intense, especially these next 3 or 4 months. There are a lot of people out of touch with reality, even in like the monetary world, like even in the groups I deal with. You know, I went into an interview yesterday with someone. I wanted to know a little more about some finances, and his course he wants to teach is $5,000. Well, you don't have $5,000? Not at the moment. No. Like, what do I shit $5,000? You ignorant fool. Sorry, I'm just a little miffed with that person. But I just kind of sat there going, even people in these groups I'm in, the Academy, Warrior Academy, this one, that one, completely out of touch with reality because they're already rich. They already have money. So they got nothing to worry about. And it's all great to charge people a price. I don't expect people to work for free, but you know, I know my own worth, and if I was to charge by knowing my own worth, none of you could afford me. Sorry. Some people, I just don't get it. But that is the difference. As much as I love dabbling in the financial world, there is one thing that a lot of people in the financial world do not have, that people in the spiritual world do have, and that is cosmic consciousness. I see people do things in certain stars, and I'm like, you just want to die eventually. You're signing your death sentence. But you know what? You go right ahead and you go ahead and fly in that phase. And you do this and you do that. But I find people that are in the money sector don't really have much spirituality, you know, and that's just how I see it. Okay. So the last couple of days, I've been doing a lot of readings for people, a lot of progressives. This is one of my busiest times of the year. And I've been working a lot with the angel cards. So if there's anybody in the chat that would like me to pull a card for the weekend, I will. I'm going to be using the angel deck today. I'm ready. I'm ready for Pluto to get off my midheaven. Wait a minute. House number 2. Okay. House number 2, sweet butterfly girl. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think so. Now, I will say this, and it is something I will add into the newsletter. I'm going to add some information in. So my Patreons, you do need to read the updated Pluto and Aquarius newsletter that I'm going to update in a little bit. Sweet butterfly girl, do you want one? First, I'm going to pull one for the world and see what messages the angels have for the weekend. But yeah, I am going to do a little updating because like I had a client on a Patreon, and she'll probably watch this later. I'm not going to mention her name. She's a good friend. We've known each other for the last 7 years. She messaged me asking me that other astrologers are saying, oh, Cancer, you better look out. This Pluto's going to get you. No, no. Let's understand something before I pull cards. Pluto has been in Capricorn. Obviously, that's affecting Capricorn, but it's also affecting the earth signs and all cardinal signs, which are Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, and Aries. Those are the cardinal signs of the zodiac. So Pluto in Capricorn affects those signs, especially. Now, tomorrow it moves and we move into Pluto in Aquarius. Well, obviously that affects Aquarius, but that also affects all of the fixed signs, meaning Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and all the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So this new energy coming tomorrow affects fixed signs and air signs. Does not affect Cancer. I mean, Pluto in Aquarius, wherever it's positioned by house and sign, oh my God, yes, you are going to feel it in the next 20 years. You're not going to be able to get away from it, okay? You will feel it in some small measure. It just won't be as intense as it is for other signs. Like Capricorns, it's been intense the last 15 years. Holy shit. I just realized, Sweet Butterfly Girl triggered something. She says, I think I'm celebrating tonight. I didn't realize that. I think I might be celebrating too, because this is the dawning of a new age. This is like clouds are parting and the sun is shining through the heavens, because it's been rough for many Capricorns. Some Capricorns have lost their life in this energy. So there's that too. Okay, I will shut up now. All right. So first, for the world at large, what messages does the angels have for the weekend? And it is all about friendships. And it's about making friendship connections. It's about honoring our friendships. I got the hiccups, sorry. It's about being thankful for the friends that we have in our lives. So this is an indication that this is the weekend. Tomorrow, Pluto moves into Aquarius. Aquarius is very, it's about humanitarianism. It's about social brotherly love. So, it wouldn't hurt to get out tomorrow and do something fun. This is the weekend that's telling you to get out there and enjoy some time with good friends and appreciate the people you have in your life. That's what this weekend's about. Okay. Antonia, you're up next. Sweet Butterfly Girl, do you want one? My ex Capricorn is one step before being crazy. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. Since he's Capricorn, Pluto's moving into his second house. Now, if you've been a good Capricorn, you will get repaid. Okay. If you've been a bad Capricorn, with Pluto sitting in your second house, this is where drama comes with money. So let the games begin. Eighth house. Okay. Okay. Angel messages for Antonia. What angel messages do we have for Antonia? Wow. Two popped up. The one on the top is the one I'm going to play. Two popped up, but the first one on the top is the one I'm going to play. This is the second one, romance, which I know you're not having. But this is the one that popped up, divine timing. So divine timing means you're going to be at the right place at the right time for something amazing to happen. I will read it from the book for you. Like I said, the friendship one I memorize in my head, so I didn't really need to read that one, but I don't really draw divine timing all that often. So I know you don't. I think that's why it came out second. Maybe you'll fall in love with a new doggy and bring him home. You know, I don't know. Romance, it could be unconditional love. Every animal I've met, I've fallen in love with. All right, here we go. Divine timing. Pay attention to books that are opening. And I can't read this. They make the writing so small, even with glasses, I'm a blind bitch. Pay attention to the doors that are opening and shutting for you right now. Walk through the doors that open and learn from the doors that shut. Your prayers are being answered right now, Antonia, and there's no doubt about it. However, everything operates according to universal laws and divine timing. This means that the other parts can come to fruition. If you try to skip or rush certain pieces or parts, the whole plan will lack a solid foundation. So everything happens in divine timing, and your plans are going to fall into place. Okay. It's a very good card. You should feel very happy and proud about this card. Everything's going to fall into place. Okay. And the spell of the month for Patreon, it's going to be that court thing. We're going to do that towards the end of the month. So you'll know that too. Just get yourself holy water. Okay. Sweet butterfly girl must have left, so I won't pull for her. Just a minute. Fine, Antonia. Don't worry. So I just last night for myself as well. I like to pull my own cards. I usually have one of my kids do it, and I did these cards. I haven't worked with these in a long time, and once you get to know me, you know that I deal with all walks of life when I dabble in the realm of astrology. So I had a lot of Christians and Catholics that I was doing readings on, so they like the angel cards. But like I said, I have all walks of life. I have people who are Christian. I have people who are demonolatrists. I have Wiccans, pagans, occultists, Christians. I have Hindus. I deal with all walks of life, so I cater to all. The stars are for everybody. They're not closed. We're all children of the stars. I don't care if you come from California. I don't care if you come from Palestine. You are a child of the stars. Okay. So there's that. Anyway, I knew I'd be on here a long time. Exactly. Astrology is for all. We all come from the stars. All of us. Our origins originate there first. So, and it's for everybody. I had some moron come at me a couple of days ago and tell me that I'm not allowed to practice Babylonian astrology because I'm not Babylonian. Well, when you get a DNA test done, it doesn't come back Babylonian. It will come back, Iraq, Iran, because that's where Babylon once was. I think he needs to study his Middle Eastern history a little bit more. But I kind of sat there going, it was the Babylonians. If it wasn't for the Babylonians who were taught it from the Sumerians, they're the ones who spread it to Greece. The Babylonians taught the Egyptians, and I don't know if it was the Egyptians who taught the Greeks and the Romans, and on and on and on it goes. But some people are so stupid. Anyway, All right, I'm just about out of here. I was only going to go on for an hour, and I'm on now for an hour and 14 minutes. I'm going to, before I leave, hold on here. Because I'm kind of transitioning and changing things up and whatnot, and I'm not going to be posting too much more on that website. And you do know why I left that website. If you don't know, I will tell you. The website host that I am with is a supporter of that country over there, in the Middle East. And I don't want to give any more money to that country because they have enough money. So this is one of the reasons I'm switching companies. It's just going to take me a little longer. But what I am going to do is copy this link. You're welcome, Antonia. You have a beautiful weekend too. For all of you out there who are not Patreon followers, you can now start going into that Patreon and looking for the new free newsletters. All the free stuff will be in that Patreon as well. I'm going to be doing a lot of changes in there. I'm probably going to change the name Mother, Maiden, and Crone to something a little different. We'll see. It's good. Change is good. Okay. That's all I got to say. All right. I'm done. I'll shut up now. Antonia, have a great weekend. All of you out there, have a wonderful weekend and free Palestine. Bye.